All right, let's move on to Cleveland Browns, 20. Chicago Bears, 17. Browns move to 9-5. Bears fall to 5-9. What a crazy game this one was. First Browns win while trailing by 10 leading into the fourth quarter since 2014. Bears were up 17-7, and Joe Flacco magic, man.
Joe Flacco magic.
Yeah. Early on, the Bears got up 7-0. It was 7-7. Joe Flacco throws a ball over the middle of the field. Your guy, TJ Edwards, absolutely pops Cedric Tillman. Ball bounces up into Tremaine Edmonds' hands, brings it back for a pick six. That put the Bears up a score. Again, they were up 17-7 going into the fourth, but it was a full Flacco game, man. A couple turnover-worthy plays, 4 to be exact, but also 3 big-time throws, including 51-yarder for Amari Cooper, to Amari Cooper to tie it, and 36 seconds left, game-winning field goal for the Browns to salvage this one and go to 9-5.
Yeah, and so it was like, remember, one of the things you said going into this game is, can Joe Flacco just avoid the critical, awful turnover that he tends to have every now and again? Because if he does, you know, the rest of his game is good enough that they tend to win with that defense. Well, early, he had like a ridiculous interception. Like, all right, there it is. It's out of the way. Done. We're still in good position. You know, the game's not got away from us, and Flacco's had his terrible mistakes, so we're probably good from this point on. Then he had multiple more terrible mistakes. You're like, okay, you can't do this. Like, this is going to be a problem if you're playing at this kind of level. And yet it was still okay because he was able to make enough plays, and, you know, everybody else made enough plays that he still overcame multiple catastrophic mistakes from Joe Flacco. And the game ends up, you know, coming down to the wire.
So Flacco, it was very old school Flacco. Multiple turnover-worthy plays, some big-time throws. He got strip sacked by Montez Sweat really late in the down. And then in the comeback attempt, while they're down 7, just kind of floats one in the red zone to David Njoku. Tyreek Stevenson picks it off. He had another pick that on just a little hitch route that could have been a pick 6 that got dropped. I mean, some of the bad plays by Flacco were horrendous. But he also hits an absolute bomb to Marquise Goodwin, hits David Njoku on a big rollout. And again, the Amari Cooper one, he threads the needle about 25, 30 yards down the field, and then Cooper, you know, catches it. Defense is out of position. Cooper turns it into the 51-yard game-winning touchdown. And then, you know, the final drive, David Njoku just takes over. He had 86. Njoku has 86 yards in the fourth quarter, 65 of which came on back-to-back plays on that game-winning drive where he just, I mean, there's a coverage bust in there by the Bears too, but man, Njoku just kind of takes over. I love that he starts leaping over people and the defense is leaping with him now.
He's become the player that, he was a really highly touted draft pick. You know, incredible athlete, huge frame, talented, ball skills, all this kind of stuff. And it never quite happened for him earlier in his career. He's become that player now. Like, it's taken a while for him to warm up and get going, but this year's version of David Njoku is the prospect. Is like, read every scouting report on him. This is the player it's describing now. And he's been spectacular. He's been a big part of a lot of wins this season. Amari Cooper making plays as well. This was a weird game for Justin Fields, where the difference between the Bears winning and losing this game is receivers letting down Justin Fields. On the other hand, he didn't actually play that well overall. Like, he had a couple of spectacular plays, most of which the receivers screwed him out of, right? Like, he had an absolute bomb early in the game, got out of some pressure, got to right field, lofts.
Great throw.
Just a beautiful throw. Not only was it well thrown in terms of it was accurate, but he put so much air under it and for it to be accurate. Like, he lofted that thing with touch deep down the field to ensure that his receiver had every chance in the world to come down with it. Didn't. He had one nice play as well, like his touchdown to Cole Kmet, where he gets out and probably gets out of a Myles Garrett sack, you know, rolls to the left, fires a dart, touchdown. That was one where his receiver actually did catch the ball and make up for it.
Beautiful play.
And then at the end, where, okay, it's a Hail Mary. His part in it is essentially luck. It's like, just get it into the end zone and then hope it bounces your way. But he did. He got it into the end zone, and then it gets deflected down, lands in the hands of Darnell Mooney, who doesn't catch it. And, like, either one of those plays, if somebody catches the ball where Justin Fields put it into his hands, the Bears probably win this game.
Yeah, I mean, he had 2 interceptions, both on Hail Marys in this game.
Right.
The final Hail Mary from Fields, though, it tipped. Mooney was on the ground. It kind of lands in his lap. I mean, it's one of those
in his hands.
It's one of those that's
he's
in
on the
slow
floor.
motion. It's like, how do you not? But that's not easy.
But I don't know. That's one of that's literally why he's there, right? It's somebody, the pile, the collection of people all going up to high point the ball. The defensive side of this is trying to bat it down and forwards right into the area where Darnell Mooney is there going to be waiting for a rebound catch. It lands not just like in his lap and in his general vague vicinity. It lands in his hands. And he then, like in the course of sort of panicking and trying to like squeeze it, launches it skywards and doesn't end up catching it. I mean, yes, it's not as easy as a ball coming directly to you that he dropped earlier in the game, but it is why you're there. Like, that's the play. It couldn't have bounced any nicer for him than that.
I had something else I'm going to add there. Yeah, Fields kind of had an up and down game. Oh, this was the key to the game, man. Like, the Bears offense just didn't do anything. It was just another dominant game by the Browns defense overall. Got lucky by the Bob Tunyon drop on that pass that you were talking about. But after
Bob Tunyon was the first one, right?
That was the first one, yes. After the Flacco interception, again, this is late in the third quarter, where it's like, all right, Flacco's already got multiple turnover-worthy plays, throws another one, they're down 10, it's like, all right, this isn't going to work. The Bears, after that interception, go punt their next few drives. Punt, turnover on downs, punt, and then the Hail Mary interception. So the Browns defense, as much as anything, deserves credit, or the Bears offense deserves blame, however you want to look at that, for this comeback. Browns defense really cracking down. Another great game by Myles Garrett. He's going to finish with double-digit pressures, even though he didn't actually hit Fields. A lot of quick wins again, and forcing incompletions and the whole deal. So Garrett up front. Dalvin Tomlinson had a big game rushing the passer. Just another incredible effort, I think, overall by this Browns defense.
Yeah, Browns defense was spectacular. They rode their luck in terms of Joe Flacco making way more mistakes than he usually does. But the thing that late era Joe Flacco does now is he's able to put himself on that kind of Josh Allen spectrum of, even when I make a bunch of terrible mistakes, I'm going to keep swinging and maybe we'll make enough positive plays to, overcome the big mistakes. Like, the Browns are, they're capable of making the playoffs almost regardless of how Flacco plays. The way they're capable of winning playoff games is if he has those clean games where he just, instead of 2 or 3 glaring errors, he makes none. Like, if they have a game like that, they're very difficult to beat.
I mean, it's going to be real interesting if the Browns, I keep thinking that they need to sneak in. I mean, they have a game on the other wild card hopefuls in the AFC. So I don't know what the playoff odds are for the Browns, but they play against the Texans, Jets, and Bengals over these next few weeks. That Texans game at Houston is going to be massive when it comes to playoff implications this week, Christmas Eve. But yeah, if the Browns get in, if they get into the playoffs, that defense going up against whether it's a Baltimore or a Kansas City or one of those division winners, man, they could sneak an upset.
Yeah,
come playoff time.
If they get a clean Joe Flacco game in the playoffs, they are very difficult out because that defense is nasty and the playmakers are good and the offensive line is still pretty good, even though they're banged up and down all of their tackles. It's a difficult team to beat if Flacco doesn't screw it up.
All right, man. That's a big win for the Browns. Bears. I mean, I think Bears fans are in this crosshair of, like, they're rooting for wins. They kind of want to see the team show life and give you something to look forward to next year, since it's the Panthers pick that matters a little bit more. But now they're back in, like, the number 5 spot, I think, their actual pick. So they're in that we can grab a Caleb Williams and a tackle or elite receiver type of spot.
Yeah, though, imagine how bummed they were that Carolina got a win yesterday. Like, that number 1 pick got a bit more precarious.
They could be losing it a little bit.